Hello Africa, welcome to another episode of African Student Voices on AAU TV. And AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. My name is GIMPA and I'll be your host. Today we will be talking about the continuous migration of students outside Africa, curbing the push and pull factors. And I have here with me lovely guests, but I'll introduce them after the break. Don't also forget to join in the conversation on our social media handles, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, AAU TV _African Universities on Twitter, and AAU TV Official on Instagram. We'll be right back. Welcome back from the break, and if you just joined us, this is African Student Voices on AAU TV, and today we are discussing the continuous migration of students outside Africa, curbing the push and pull factors. And I have here with me lovely guests who I'm going to give a minute to introduce themselves. I'll start from the lady.
Okay, my name is Christiana Atteh Valerie. I'm a student of GIMPA. I'm in my final year studying business admin.
You're welcome, Christiana.
Thank you.
Okay, so I am Samuel Ackom, a level 300 student of the University of Ghana, studying political science and linguistics.
All right, sure. You are both welcome.
Thank you very much.
So as we all know, we are discussing the continuous migration of students outside Africa. But, first of all, I would like to get a little personal. I'll start from you, Christiana. Have you considered furthering your education outside Africa?
Yes. I intend to further after my graduation in July, or better still, do my service, then later on move outside to further maybe do my master's or work there.
All right, sure. What about you, Sammy?
Yes, I always have. I started having this feeling when in my environment, my mom's friend, the son traveled outside to study abroad, and when he came back, the kind of respect he had, I was like, wow, I also go out and
just because he has traveled outside.
Yeah. So I've also had intentions of, traveling outside the country to further my education.
Okay. But then some, in most cases, I think Valerie made that instance in her submission. Most cases, people want to, or let me say, students want to further their education outside after their first degree. What do you think is the problem? Why would they wait and do their first degree before they step out and not actually gain the experience or something?
Experience. Okay, thank you very much. Sure. And to answer the very quick question, I want to give a little bit history of how this whole thing came about. And so in somewhere 1957, after Ghana gained independence, the government of Ghana decided to give some young men in the country the opportunity to go outside the country to further their education, for the reason being that, Ghana at that time was practicing agrarian, form of development. That is, what they do is to grow what they eat and all of that. They're into cultivation. And so the government decided to send some young men outside to learn how the industries are built, how they can use the industries to gain employment and work towards the development of the country. And so that is when this whole thing started. And so after it started, over the past years, it has been increasing. It has been increasing. The reason being that young people in the country feel like, some of them feel like they need to explore. That is, they need to go into different environments to see how things are. But then I think majority of them travel outside of the country for the reason being that after school, after their first degree, they don't get employment. And if after my first degree, I did not get employment, and someone comes to tell me that, oh, go and do masters, you gain employment. I won't believe the person. If I get the opportunity to travel, I'll travel. And so I think one of the major factors is as a result of employment.
Okay, Christiana, would you want to add something?
I think it's a choice of them to do their first degree here, because normally you must know someone outside before you could leave there and start from scratch. But then they prefer to go for the masters, because basically when they are giving you the visa, it would be like you can go a year or two, then come back. But that is not their mindset. They just want to go there and settle. And so they use the master's program or the PhD program as a stepping stone outside.
Okay, so let me still be on you, Christiana. Statistics indicate that most students in Africa will consider abroad to further their education. Why? Would you say it is the educational system that we have in Africa, or it is the institutions? Why do they offer, or let me say, why do they have that decision behind their mind that they would want to travel after school, their first degree? Yeah.
Thank you. So I think they feel they are outsiders. I mean, overseas, their certificate is a bit higher than we African students. And so even if you should get a first degree here and go there to work, let's use the nursing as an example. So a first degree nurse here would have to still do a top-up overseas, let's say UK, US, before they can be offered at employment in the hospitals and all that. So we think our certificate is not enough. It's not to the standard of theirs, and so that is why we want to take the offer. Yeah.
Okay, so would you want to add something?
Yes, to add something, I would say that it's as a result of the information they get.
Okay.
Because day in and day out, we've been getting information that, when you travel outside, things are quite moderate. When you get a first degree here, and then you go there, you'll be able to do better than even those who are there. And so I think such information also contributes to the students wanting to travel outside the country.
Okay. So now I want us to talk about the reasons. I know we have spoken about that, but I would want us to give some firm reasons why students would want to go outside. Because some of the courses that they want to go and study, they already have it here in their home countries. So apart from Ghana, I know other African countries too, students travel outside to further their education. So what is it in Africa that the students are finding difficulties in that is making them, consider or have that consideration behind their mind to go out? Christiana.
Okay, so I would say job opportunities. Okay. It's quite difficult for a first degree student to get a job after school. Okay. Even after your master's, they'll be requiring experience. Realize the case, you've never, had the chance to, work. And so they prefer going outside there. Looking at the COVID situation right now, from Canada, they came down to pick people up. I have a medical friend, a medical student who went there recently, and he's being offered a job because there are low, rates of workers there. And so why would he sit here and not get a job? It's better to go outside. And so I think job opportunities are one of the major reasons for them migrating to overseas.
All right.
Okay, and so aside job opportunities being a contributing factor, I also believe that the young people feel like they need to practice what they study, practice what they learn, and they think they are not getting the kind of tools, materials, or resources to actually practice what they learn. And so some of them would want to travel to actually go and have a physical feel, have a feel of what they are studying. Because, for example, you can't tell me that every, let's say, science school in the country has all the... We have some, but not enough, not all. And so they've been getting information, when you travel outside, you can get access to these things, you can use them, practice what you... So I think aside employment being a contributing factor, students wanting to practice what they learn is also a factor that we should consider.
All right, so Christiana made a statement earlier that gaining a certificate from Africa is not worthy enough. What do you think is wrong with our certificates? Is it from our education? What is, making our education, that down to the extent that our certificates is also not worthy enough?
Well, I think with this particular question, I'll take it from the mentality perspective. I think it is our mentality which is making us think this way. And then another thing that I would say is that the European countries have been made to look like they are the superpowers. Like you get it, they are the superpowers. And so whatever thing they have, we the Africans see what they have as prim and proper, like you get it. And so we belittle our certificates and see theirs as supreme, basically because we see them as superpowers. And so I think it's all about the mentality.
Okay, Christiana,
but then I'll chip in too. Looking at some of our courses and all that we do here in Africa, when you compare it to overseas, it's like when you are doing medicine, you go according to it, like you learn about the field, but you realize here in Ghana, you'll be learning other things which are not actually needed for the job, and so you are not able to perform your tasks.
True.
And we like to base knowledge on exams and all those things.
Yes.
The written part and everything. But outside, they give you the opportunity. Yes. They add your skills. You are able to be practical. Here, it's more theoretical. And so when you are out there, you are given the chance to show what you know or what you've learned. You are unable to do that. So I think that one too.
Yes, to add to what she's saying, I remember I saw a post some time ago that someone, let's say, going to study political science in the university, and then in senior high school, you ask the person to go and learn part of a mosquito. Like, I mean, how does that relate to what the person wants to do? And so that is also a factor.
But
what we don't. Okay.
But then I believe, I'm not trying to cut you short, but I believe that when you are going to the secondary school, there are courses. We have the general arts, we have the science, we have the visual arts. So why won't the person do a science, and then maybe when you come to the university and then you want to pursue a science course, it will be easier, because when you do the mosquito and then come to the university to do to have the political science course, it's somehow contradicted.
Well, yes, I understand you, but then even if you are offering general arts in senior high school, you still do science.
Well,
and science, we have topics that has the mosquito part and all of that. So.
Okay, all right, sure. So let me say, considering the cost of tuition fee, you know, when you want to go out, I realize the tuition fee of the European countries, they are very expensive. So considering the tuition fee, the visa application, struggling to reserve an accommodation and all that, don't you think there should be an enough reason, you know, for the African students to stay in their home countries to study? Christiana, I think you want to say
yes. Me, for instance, I don't see it as a struggle, because it's just a one-time thing. If you are able to finish this process and go on, trust me, it's worth you enjoy that, you being here, having it at your comfort zone, but then be done with school and you're just home 5 years, you still don't have a job. Better to go through the struggle and all that. Sometimes you can apply for scholarships and all the others, or even if you are able to get the tuition yourself and you can work in between hours and still study to survive.
Okay.
So to add to what she's saying, you know, arguably you cannot achieve anything without making sacrifices. And so I think the individual, the young people in Africa are willing to sacrifice, because of course, if I'm to sacrifice and go through the toil in getting tuition and fees and those, and after going to study there, I'll be employed. Why not? It's a sacrifice, of course. I'll do it. Yes.
Okay. So they don't mind the stress. They will actually do it. Anything to go out.
Yes, to go out.
Okay. So we'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break, and if you just joined us, this is African Student Voices on AAU TV, and AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. You can also follow the conversation on our social media handles, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, AAU TV _ African Universities on Twitter, and AAU TV Official on Instagram. You're welcome from the break.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, you know, I would want us to talk about individuals settling out. You know, that is what we've been talking about. But you know, in most cases, when the individuals, or let me say the students, when they step out, or let me say they travel outside to further their education, they don't come back to give back to their home country. Why do you think? What is the problem? Sammy, maybe I'll start with you.
Wow. Thank you very much. And so I think it is not an entirely that all students don't return. Some return. Even with the instance I gave at the beginning of the discussion, I was like, the government sent some young people outside the country and all of that. True. Some returned and some didn't. And so now the question is, why didn't they return?
They return, exactly.
Good. And so I am thinking that when they go there to see how the system works, to see how the environment is, and they compare it to the kind of system they were in Africa or Ghana, and the kind of environment, they don't feel like coming back. That is one. And then two, some people also feel like they put some unnecessary pressure upon themselves. That is, they think that because they have traveled outside the country, before they return, they should be able, like they should be well and doing.
Yeah, that's
and so
true.
they think definitely when they come back to Ghana, people are going to put demands on them because,
That's
you know,
true.
Boga Bafi. So if Boga is in the house, they will try and ask them, oh, please, can we get this and all of that. So they want to stay there long enough to make sure that by the time they return, they are fit, they are well to do. Exactly.
Okay. Christiana, let me come to you.
Yeah, I'll add up to what he said. Looking at our system, let's say someone had to travel out years back because it wasn't our structure, wasn't favorable to him or her. And is there doing well and still looks back and see there's no changes, why then should I come back?
Why should they come back?
No, there's no way I'm doing that. And sometimes too, they start up families there and the thoughts of relocating back to their home country is very difficult.
Okay. So now this brings me to my next question. What do you think these European institutions are doing differently from our African institutions that is making our people go there and do not want to come back? And do you think we can also pick up some of their qualities and also use in our institutions?
So with some of the European countries, your job is assured after school. This is when the Honorable Kennedy Japan just said that her daughter graduated and the next 2 days she has a job. Here in Ghana, after your service, you'd have to, unless you have connections, someone before you can get a job. But then in the European countries, your job is assured. I heard here in even Asha say, I'm not sure it's purely African, but then there's a job assured for every student who graduates. Yeah, I think if you are able to bring that into existence, it will be good. I mean, no students would struggle to go back. Because to me, actually, if I should go out, sometimes I just want to be out there for vacation and not necessarily relocate there. But looking at...
So you wouldn't want to school there?
No, looking at the economy, I think I'll just stay there for a while, make some money, come back, invest, go back.
They will follow you.
No, you shouldn't. Some should stay. We all can't go.
It looks like everybody wants to go.
Even if we would have to work for days, we would go.
The
system is not favorable.
Yeah. And so to touch on this, you see, she mentioned for the fact that right after you graduate, there's a job waiting for you.
That's true.
It all boils down to the system. Their systems are working. Even if it's not working as they should, what we see is they are working. The systems are working as a result of the information we are getting and all of that. And so what they are doing differently is that they have put in place structures that checks on the systems.
That's true.
And so I think, yes, that is the systems. The systems are what our system needs to work.
And even their working conditions.
It's also good.
You know, you can work in between hours, and over here in Ghana, the average employee would be mad 25 to this a day or 30
8 to 5.
Yeah, that's 8 to 5. But in overseas, you can work like 3 types of jobs and still make it.
True. I even heard they can pay you hourly.
Exactly.
An hour when you work, there is an amount.
Even some are even paid for not even working.
Yeah,
there are a whole lot of things that is attractive.
I'm just imagining, in Ghana here, when you're not working, they'll be paying you while
it's not that anyway. Yes.
Well, it's just something like him.
I forgot to add that I think the currency is also a contributing factor. The currency, because they feel like if I go to US, for example, and I get some $10, when I send it to someone in Ghana, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Yes, even pounds.
It's a
lot of money. So the currency is also a contributing factor.
Okay. All right. So I want to read a statement here. There was an argument that came up quite recently suggesting that most students use education as a basis to travel in order to explore job opportunities and also to have a feel of the outside environment. I think we've spoken about that, but what do you make of the statement? Christy?
I absolutely agree with the statement. Like I said, someone will just use that as an excuse. It's easier to get a student visa, than you just going there. So why not say I'm going to do my master's 1-2 years and fast? It's either I do my papers or they just leave that state to another state just to be permanent there. So I agree with the statement.
Okay, Sammy.
Yeah, I also agree with the statement of the fact that gone were the days where you'll have to illegally travel by ship, boats or something to the Western countries. And so now I think the education part, the education system has been like a gold mine for most young individuals, because they feel like that is the only way they can. Because if they go and use any other factor, wanting to travel, most of the time they turn them down. It's difficult, and so the education is the only way we feel like we can use.
Okay, now let me come to, let me touch on our government more. You know, who do you think is to be blamed for student migration? So is it the government? Is it our institutions? Or let me say our parents or the student's preference? Sammy, I'll still be on you.
Okay, thank you very much. So with this, I think I'm going to give a percentage.
Okay.
Government, I'm sorry, but this is 60-40. Yes, 60-40. That is the problem. 60% is from the government, and then 40% is from the parents. This is why I'm saying 60% is from the government. 60% from the government, because I know, yes, indeed, parents are to play a part for the systems to work, but then the government is solely responsible for the, for the systems to work. And so, if the government is able to make the systems work, then it will make the parents also, consider certain things, in order not to send their parents outside, their children outside the country. And then the 40% I gave to parents was of the fact that when a parent sees that the neighbor's son or daughter has traveled outside and is back, they feel like there is that feeling, there's an honor, there's a privilege, attached to it. And so they'll be like, okay, why not let my son also go? So I also be called Bogamami, and all of that.
So you don't think the student has a role to play in this?
Well,
individual, just like how you both have the notion, or you have it at the back of your mind that you want to step out.
Yes, the students also have a role to play, but I mean, if you are a student and you want to travel and your parents are not allowing you, and your government has made sure that the systems are working, you won't go. You won't go. Yeah, you won't have any reason to travel outside.
Okay, so Christy,
with the part that he said, your parents and all that. So just last week, my auntie called me that in the UK they are looking for healthcare personnel, and so I should, make sure I get a certificate so that you'll be taken there to work for 5 years, then you'll be given the papers to stay and all that. And I was like, I'm in my final year, I'm doing business admin. I did science in SHS, though, then I switched to business because I worked and I felt that was my field. You want me to go and do a certificate, healthcare, then go and relocate there just to get papers that, I'm going to go UK. Like, you see that sort of thing. So I think sometimes, too, it's the family issue. Others, too, want to go and bring back remittances. Me being a firstborn, I would want to go because of the good working conditions outside. I would want to go work there and be sending money home. So I think it's all part, and government too. So government too should make sure that at least the system works. If not for aside the entrepreneurship, there should be job offers. Now he's telling us that the payroll is full. And I think there are people in who are supposed to
even go out,
retire and all those things. So if you are able to make sure that all these institutions, there are checks and balances, I'm sure the system will perform.
It would work.
Example, with the example she gave, that the government saying that the payroll is full. We, the students, believe in the government, and we believe that the government is trying every means possible to make the systems work. And that same government that I have entrusted in is telling me that the payroll is full. Of course, I will travel outside the country.
So we are almost coming to the end of the show. So what do you think can be done to minimize student migration outside Africa? This one I would want us to really talk a lot, because I know there is a lot of work to be done on the ground. Sammy, I'll start from you.
Okay. Thank you very much once again. And so, first of all, systems. I've mentioned systems throughout this conversation. Because systems. There is this guy on YouTube, let me say man on YouTube, who does this system age, 247, glass and coin, all of that. Yes, he has gone, Chinny Jonas, yes, thank you very much, Chinny Jonas. He has gone there to see that, what kind of system was I in? The system is very different. And so, the government should make sure that the systems work. How are they going to make sure that the systems work? They need to, if possible, restructure the education system. Yes, well, I don't have a degree in education or something, but then I think there should be a way that we can restructure the education system to factor in practicalities, to factor in, practical aspects,
I think the
as well as
the
theories are too much, way too much. And then also, the government should make sure that they create more job opportunities, because if after school I go through the tour completing 4 years, and you know the amount of fees we pay and all of that, and then after that I'll have to stay home and depend on my parents again.
Looking for job, you know, the job hunting itself is even a problem.
Yes, it's even a problem and all of that. So I think the systems must be made to work.
Okay, so with the because we're talking about the mentality of parents and all that.
Yes.
I think we should educate or create awareness so that people would understand that, I mean, we are all here to help ourselves. It's not always about going out there. We should have the perception that, yes, we can do it here. Like he said, we think our certificate is not to the standards of theirs because we see the Europeans to be mightier than us. So if we are able to put that's in our head that we can do it, we need to stay here and help the country and not necessarily go down that brain drain or something of that sort. I think that will really help. We have to check our mentality.
And with this, there has been several instances where we get feedback, we see in the news that individuals who travel outside Ghana or Africa excel and do much better than those who are even there. And so this should tell us that it is not of the fact that Ghanaians or the youth in Africa are not brilliant. They are brilliant. They are brilliant, but then the system cannot work it.
So if you can go and come back and, you know, help with the new skills, I'm sure it will be better.
Okay, so if we can go and come and give back to our country, I think it's better. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very, very much.
So this has been African Student Voices on AAU TV, and we discussed continuous migration of students outside Africa, curbing the push and pull factors. You can also follow the conversation or get into the conversation on our social media handles: Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, AAUTV_African Universities on Twitter, and AAUTV Official on Instagram. See you same time next time. Bye.